Insanity, a madness of the mind, a labyrinth where reason is hard to find, a world of chaos, confusion, and pain, where the sane struggle to remain. In this twisted realm of delusion, reality becomes just an illusion. The mind becomes a prison cell, trapping those who dare to dwell. With each passing day, the madness grows, a never ending cycle of highs and lows. The mind, a storm of thoughts and fears. The Democrat Party, where sanity disappears. Welcome to Divided We Stand. I am Jimmy J, and that man over there is Joe Aguirre. Joe, I don't want to even talk about anything else. Let's get right into this, man. What in the world is going on when the former president of the United States of America gets indicted over a campaign violation? What is going on?
I hate to say this, but when Michael Cohen went to jail, I think it was pretty obvious Trump was at some point going to get indicted when he left office.
For this or for something else?
For this.
Okay. I don't understand, right? So first off, I want to say, Alvin Bragg, you're a jackass because you made me change my whole episode up. I had a great episode written up. And I heard about this on the news and been doing this ever since. Had to change it all up, all right? But now that he did talk about it, Joe, let's talk about it. The charges of this is a campaign finance violation, right?
Yeah.
Alvin Bragg is a state district attorney, so he's bringing state charges. There's a reason why he's bringing the state charges, and there's a reason why federal prosecutors haven't touched it. Now, here's a question, and I don't know the answer, but here's a question for you.
Yeah.
If it's state charges, can Alvin Bragg bring state charges up against him for a campaign finance violation that he was running federally?
Yeah, let me tell you something. You and I are not lawyers. I'm more than positive. And listen, a lot of people are going to do what you and I are doing, and the process is the least of this guy's concerns. Okay, let's be honest. And you know better than anybody. And I always find it interesting when you do sort of leap to his defense here, because the fact of the matter is you've known he's been a con man as long as he's been on the scene in New York.
And I agree with you on that. I do.
You don't do business in Atlantic City if you're on the up and up. That's not how it works. Did you watch The Sopranos? Again, Michael Cohen, and when that happened, Donald Trump was unnamed co-conspirator one.
Okay.
So again, anybody who's acting surprised or like these charges. Listen, it's going to play out. Do I think this is weak? Do I think this is them continuing to go after Trump because they failed? And I'll get into that in my bit, Jim, but not to give too much away. Yeah, look, they blew it.
I haven't touched this, all right? I don't want to touch this.
I don't think this is a political thing at all. He straight up broke the law. He admitted he did it. Michael Cohen admitted he did it. Michael Cohen went to jail. There's going to be ramifications for Donald Trump. Now,
okay, I wanted to save this for later.
Slow down, because first Sketchy Peasant says, "What up? Good to see you, my friend. Long time no see. Hope all is well. What a great day to see each other." I'll lock him up. Sketchy, make sure you stay tuned towards the end of the show when I do my bit. I think you're going to love it. Again, that said, this has nothing to do with politics. This has to do with breaking the law.
Oh, my God, Joe.
Hold on. Jimbo.
Okay, I'll let you finish because I'm going to make you eat those words, but go ahead.
Ask any Democrat.
Biden. I'm going to ask Alvin Bragg.
If Hunter Biden broke a law, or Joe Biden did something corrupt with China or Ukraine, which I'm certain he didn't, but say he did, put them in jail. There's ramifications for breaking the law. It doesn't matter who you are. And because we're not in a cult, we don't care. We want to see the bad guys go to jail. I don't understand what we're even arguing about.
My notes that I read already. I'm going through my notes that I read already. And not once did I say I'm defending Donald Trump. What I'm doing right now, what I'm talking about, hold on, let me finish, is Alvin Bragg. Okay. And I was going to save this for later, but I'm going to pull this up now. I know it's a little fuzzy, but this is an article from CNN, not the most right-leaning article out there, right? Misdemeanor offenses that Alvin Bragg's office would not prosecute: marijuana misdemeanors, including selling more than 3 ounces, not paying public transportation fares, trespassing except for 4th-degree stalking charges. Well, that's good. Resisting arrest and obstructing governmental administration in certain cases, and prostitution. So don't sit there and tell me it's about breaking the law, because
he's already a good time.
He's not prosecuting.
Sounds like a heck of a time in New York.
Right? And that's not me saying that, Joe. That's CNN and Joe and Alvin Bragg's quotes, right? So that's not Jimmy saying that. That's Alvin Bragg saying he's not going to prosecute these kind of laws. So don't talk to me about it's all about the law.
He's talking about petty crimes.
He gets to choose.
He's talking about petty crimes that incarcerate people unnecessarily, like drugs.
In the state of New York, even is a misdemeanor. When you slap on the conspiracy charge, and now it becomes federal.
Well, he shouldn't have conspired then.
He actually, now let's talk about this, right? Because I know what we're going to talk about. Oh man, did I close out that segment? No. So I know we're going to talk about this, right? What did the check say? It's all about this check. It's all right. The whole case stems around $130,000.
It's not the whole case stems around what his intention was.
Right. How do you prove somebody's intention? When a lawyer, check this out.
That's what they're gonna attempt to do.
Right. Check this out. The check said what? Retainer fee, lawyer fee, right? That's what the check said. Supposedly said. It said for lawyer fee. He gave the check to his lawyer. What the lawyer did with it after that, paying Stormy Daniels, okay, I understand. I get it. Is it a good look for Donald Trump? Of course not. Here's another question, Joe. Is it illegal to pay hush money? Is it illegal to pay her to be quiet? No, it's not. Is it illegal to have an affair? No, it's not. The only illegal thing that he did was write down on a piece of paper on the check in that little 4 block, right? Lawyer fees or retainer fee. I think it was retainer. So you're telling me that all Donald Trump had to do was pay off a porn star in there, and there would be no case. That's how thin this case is. You understand that?
Yeah.
Pretty thin, don't you think?
Look, most of our former presidents have never been accused of paying hush money. So I don't know.
No, everybody, really, all your former
Alexander Hamilton
were allowed to have affairs, and it's cool. It was cool for them to have affairs, right? Nobody complained about freaking Marilyn Monroe banging somebody in the White House. Nobody cared. That was celebrating.
It's the timing of the check.
No. It's not the timing of the check.
Oh, it's the timing of the check.
It's the party of the candidate, and that's all that is. And you can't
Donald
tell me
Trump.
Bill Clinton had an affair. Nobody cared.
Not during the campaign. Not during the campaign.
Did not care.
Hey, listen. The fact of the matter is
defending Donald Trump. You know what? Send Donald Trump to jail for anything else. I don't care. Yeah. What I'm saying is Alvin Bragg is overstepping here a little bit. He's overreaching. And here's the trouble with that, Joe. Here's the trouble with that. Do you not think his popularity is going to go up now? You know his base is going to get riled up. You know his base is going to get fired up. You know they're going to get more in it.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because
what are we thinking?
Because I think this is the exit strategy Republicans have been hoping for. He's indicted. You just walk away. Now is the time.
You know what? About time. I don't want to say we should lock Donald Trump up, because there's a lot of politicians that should have been locked up. And if that's the precedence we're going to set, that they can get away with it, then that's fine, right?
Yeah.
As long as we're fair on each side, I'm cool with it. I am. But here it is, man. This isn't good. This isn't good, and this isn't a Democrat Republican thing. It's not good for the country as a whole. All you're doing is more dividing, right?
Mhm.
Because now we're going to have the forever Trumpers who think that the government is out to get them and now have a case to friggin' throw on their back as proof. And they're getting bigger now, and they're going to get stronger, and they're going to get more boisterous. And it's all this is doing. And then what about the flip side? You don't think this is going to, the Republic? Remember, right? I equate politicians to children. If you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, right? They're children. Oh, they did it to me, so now I get to do it to you, right? Two wrongs don't make a right. Get that? Or two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
You know, it's a bad precedence. It's never been done before, especially now. Look at, man. If Donald Trump, because he said it, walked down on Fifth Avenue, shot somebody in the face, let's hang him, right? Let's hang the bastard. Go right ahead. If he was going around in Epstein's Island, throw him in jail. I'm good with it. I don't care. If he broke a major felony law, if he was out there extorting money, send him to jail, and we can prove it, send him to jail. I'm not that kind of a Donald Trump fan, brother. And you know this.
Yeah.
I am a fan of justice. I am a fan of fairness. And I am a fan of not being divided. And that's all we're doing. That's it. People who want to lock him up, and people who think he's freaking Jesus Christ. And it's getting out of control, and this does nothing but further that divide.
Look, I think the other big problem is you remember after he got indicted or impeached, and Susan Collins, the great senator from Maine, said she really thought Trump had learned his lesson. And then, of course, a couple months later, they had to impeach him a second time. Donald Trump has behaved, Jimmy, as though he's above the law for too long. And I realize this isn't the thing they should necessarily be taking him down for. I do. But if you don't, then I think he thinks he just can continue to get away with it and do whatever he wants. And I think that's something that we desperately need to avoid here. My initial reaction when I heard he was probably going to get indicted was that, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Who cares? Let him go away. But the other thing is, Jim, he won't go away. And since he won't go away, then he's got to be dealt with. And legally, he broke a law, and he's going to have to pay the price.
So you're telling me that there's no politician up there that's broken a law?
Your whataboutism is doing nothing for me right now. What does that have to do with anything? Sure,
my point is this,
before, right? But we're talking about this guy.
I've already said.
We're talking about this guy.
Let's lock him up if he's done something egregious enough to lock him up.
The state of New York says he did, and they've got the ability to prove it, and now it's their job to go out there and do it. And if they can, he goes to jail, and that solves their problem in 2024. He goes
to jail for something far less egregious than resisting arrest.
Hold on.
Now, and you're telling me it's not political.
Listen,
and you're telling me it's not freaking political,
Jim. If
get the hell out of here, you know what, Joe? You always claim to be a freaking a Republican.
If
you
Trump
totally crossed the line and lost your freaking mind.
Resist arrest, at least they won't prosecute him.
You have lost your mind completely, Joseph.
That's the only way he doesn't get prosecuted.
If what?
Is if he resists the arrest.
That's right. All he's got to do is resist arrest or go bang a hooker and sell some drugs.
Yeah,
he won't get arrested.
that's going to be his best bet.
Yeah,
That's going to be.
exactly.
I don't know what's happening here. My
Did
camera
your
is
camera
having.
fall?
My camera's it's making its own moves right now. All right.
That's all right. So you know what, Joe? That there's a lot of. Now I want to say this: we don't know what the charges are yet, right? What's
By the
he saying?
way, Bammo from Sketchy Peasant.
Nobody is above the law except for Alejandro Mayorkas, right? He doesn't have to follow the law.
Everyone follows the law.
No, he doesn't. It's his job, according to the law, to enforce laws in the United States of America. He is not enforcing laws that are on the books here in the United States of America.
He does.
He's breaking the law, but he's above it. That's cool. That's fine.
If he was breaking the law, somebody should bring charges against him. So I don't think
it's a little hard when you control every fucking seat in the executive branch, and he's not an elected official, so he's not being voted. He works at the pleasure of the president of the United States, right? Who were we talking? I was talking to somebody about.
Wait, we're talking about Donald Trump, former president, being indicted. I'm not worried about anybody else right now. Let's not play the deflection game here. That's a good one.
Oh no, I'm not trying to deflect.
I can see why you'd want to deflect this.
Moving on. I thought we were segueing.
Why you want to deflect?
No. I thought we were segueing because my time is almost up.
Your time's been up since you started.
Please, you have nothing. Nothing. The weakest case ever brought on anybody is going to be brought on the former president of the United States, and you guys think this is going to end well for anybody?
His co-conspirator went to jail.
Anybody? Do you think this is going to end well for anybody, especially this country? On that note, after this break.
Your suggestion is we don't do anything, and that would make everything cool.
I think if you can get them on bigger charges and something better, by all means,
go right ahead. You can charge someone when they're locked up.
But the statute of limitation in New York is 2 years on this charge. The statute of limitations federally is 5 years. This happened in 2016. Let's do the math, guys. You're 2 years too late federally.
Jim,
now, don't want to know why? You know why.
You're a terrible lawyer. Listen.
You know why it's being brought forward.
Nobody's above the law. If a crime was committed, he should be held accountable.
The statute of limitations ran out, bro.
It didn't. Or they wouldn't have done this.
It absolutely
You're just making stuff up. You're making up stuff.
I'm not making it up. I'm about to explain it. I'm about to explain it. Hold on. I'm 100% right. Look it up. 5 years federally, 2 years in the state of New York. The reason why they continue to bring this forward and the reason why they're being allowed is because of COVID. They're negating those 2 years of COVID.
See?
And so I can make up. So no, here's my point. Here's my point with that. So now we can make up rules as we go along. Because if they can do it to the former president of the United States, they can do it to anybody.
They're doing it to the guy because of what he did.
And it doesn't matter. Follow the freaking rules of the law. So Donald Trump has to follow the law, which he does, and I'm agreeing with that, right? But the law of statute of limitations doesn't need to be followed. That's what you're telling me? So certain laws for certain people, like Republicans, can be broken. Okay, I got it now. That's the Democrat stance. I love it. It's the most hypocritical thing you've ever said on this show. And it's great. And now you're just proving to everybody just how hypocritical and just how political the Democrat Party is. How they don't care about anybody. They just want to win. They just want power. They just want control. And they'll do whatever they can to get it.
Let me tell you something.
Period.
That nonsense you just heard right there, that's the reason you guys keep losing elections. Straight up.
It's not nonsense, Joe. It's
exactly the reason.
You change exactly the reason. They're changing the rules and laws as they go along.
This is your chance to run from Trump. You should take it.
Joe, am I a Trump supporter? I didn't even vote for the man.
For the life of me, understand what you're doing right now.
I am voting, and I am saying
you should be counting your blessings right now. All right, listen. Let's take a quick break. Got only a 30-minute show tonight, so we got to get to my bit. Quick break from one of our sponsors. We'll be right back after this.
There's no bigger.
Oh, sorry, I hit it too.
There's no bigger investment than home ownership, and to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
Wow. What a day. Donald Trump has been indicted by a grand jury in New York City, becoming the first former president in U.S. history to be charged with a crime after leaving office. Of course, Trump is also the only president in history to be impeached not once, but twice. Trump has had lots of firsts in presidential history, none of them good, including being the only president elected to lose the popular vote 2 times. He lied about COVID to keep the numbers down. Yeah, if we don't test, we won't have a lot of cases. That was his plan because he was the worst president we've ever had. Mexico was never going to pay for a wall. He was never going to make America great again. Think about it. Nothing he did in 4 years made you think he was going to make things better for anyone. Apologists will often bring up the economy, but who are we kidding here? Think about the damage he created just via Twitter. Now, the right wing is confused on their flapping points these days. Some want to call this the leftists moving against Trump as payback for him beating off 2 impeachments. Their Trump deranged syndrome has led to this investigation that saw Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, serve prison time for it. Smart Republicans are distancing themselves from Trump, especially in light of his frequent attempts to once again stoke violence. Yeah, Trump all but called for violence while at a rally in Waco, Texas, on the 30th anniversary of the Branch Davidian cult's tragic standoff with federal agents, a cause of great importance to militia groups in America. As George Carlin once said, personally, I would never want to be a member of any group where you either have to wear a hat or you can't wear a hat. This is the perfect time for Republicans to cut their losses and move on fast. And by the way, in case you guys like this, in case you think guys like this are going to help you win elections, you might want to take this time to distance yourself from people who foolishly followed a clown into an insurrection. Like my buddy Joe Walsh has been saying, country over party. You know, if we can get past Trump and the divisive nonsense, we just might be able to turn things around, Jimbo.
How do you still say stuff like that, man? When I've proven to you time and time again how the media, and this isn't, again, I don't like God, why do you make me defend this guy?
I hate they use his words against him.
You can't. No, dude. I told you and I've shown you how they edit videos to make him say things.
Thank you, Sketchy, by the way. Thank you. I knew you would enjoy that, my friend. You notice I didn't say he was the first president to endorse white supremacy. I didn't say that.
Have I not shown you that?
Okay. No, you have. That's why.
Okay. Now, hold on. Here's my point. Here's my point with this.
It doesn't take away from all the other bad things he did.
If CNN and all the other news media outlets didn't lie as much, right? Because I've proven you that they did. I've proven you that they doctored video, that they've edited video to make it sound where I've proven this to you. If they didn't lie as much and do that kind of stuff, which they did, would he have been as divisive as you think? Is he seeing today? Because I honestly don't know if he was as, because let's face it, he was extremely divisive, and I say that out loud, if he would be as divisive if he was covered the same way as Obama.
Jim, he walked off the elevator and started talking about Mexicans as rapists and murderers.
Joe,
but he
I
did.
went back and saw the video again.
as it unfolded in shock and horror.
He specifically called out gangs, mentioned gangs by name, and those are the rapists. Those are the murderers. You know what? The video that you saw that I'm sure you watched on MSNBC.
They're not sending their best.
You know that,
they're not sending their best, is what he said.
I showed you that, right? They doctored that video, and you hate it. Hook, line, and sinker.
You see, here's the problem.
Like a guppy, man.
What's one of two things? Either secretly you do have a thing for Trump that you don't want to admit, or two, you've fallen for this false narrative by the right to paint Trump as he's always being picked on. He gets picked on because he's an asshole. It's not the other way around.
Okay. So down a short. Let's take this one. Let's take this one specifically. Okay. Let's take this one specific example. Charlotte, North Carolina. When he was painted as, saying that the KKK and the white supremacists in the group are good people. Remember that? I know you do.
Sure, but it would have been so much easier if he would have just said it once the first time, and he couldn't do it, Jim. That was
hold on. Let me finish, please. Now, did he ever actually say that, Joe? No, he didn't. What did he say? He said there are great people in this audience, but screw the KKK. Screw the white supremacists. He literally condemned them. They cut that out, spliced it to make it sound like he said the KKK and the white supremacists are good people. So was Trump being divisive there by saying screw the KKK, down with the freaking white supremacists, screw you guy, hold on. And you know what? All you other people over here are great people. No matter who you voted for, you're all good people. Was he divisive or was the news divisive?
He had to be told to go out there and say that. And everyone was really concerned with the words that came out of his mouth. It was in the middle of a speech.
It was in the middle of a speech.
It was hardly
nobody told him that. Dude, I showed you the video. How can you argue with me? You saw it and you admitted it. Okay. Right? Hi, honey.
How are you?
You admitted it, Joe. How can you argue with it now?
I told you. How are you? I love you.
I love you too. Good night. See you later. All right.
What time is it?
It's 8:30. The show's about to end.
Oh my God, we do.
Well, because we're at the point of the show where Jimmy's just talking out of his butt.
I love you.
I love you too. And
talking out of my butt. So are you saying that I didn't show you that video? Are you saying
no,
that
Jim,
video
listen,
wasn't
you would have to spend a lot of time, honestly, going through, like, there's so many things this guy did wrong. So many.
I know those evil tweets, man. Let me tell you, I would trade my circumstances right now. I'm so glad. I am so glad I changed my circumstances right now from when he was president and handing out stupid tweets. If that's all I had to worry about, brother, I can deal with it. You want to know why? Because I don't have to look at Twitter. But
he did a terrible job. He did a terrible job as president. He's a big part of the reason why we have the inflation that we have. His response to COVID is something we're still dealing with to this day. He did a terrible job. I'm glad he's being indicted. I hope they have a strong case against him, and I hope that they prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law. And if Hunter Biden did something, then let's get him going next. That's fine. But we got to stop with the rule breaking and the law breaking and we're not doing that. He's a criminal, and the irony here, Jim, of course, is that he went in with lock her up, and now here we are, and it's lock him up. The irony is rich.
You know what, Joe? I did want to close with this. I really did. And so there was a really good segue there. I did want to remind everybody, right? And I'll throw this one in too because you brought it up. Trump did roll out the first $1.7 trillion relief package, which did contribute to the inflation problem that we have 100%. Never not admitted that. I've said that on many episodes here. I will also say that it was pointed out by other officials today on television, actually, that there has already been a precedent set. The locker up chant came from Donald Trump. He's the one that set the precedence of going after your opponent and trying to lock them up.
The irony, I'm telling you, this is great.
Right? I did want to point that out. because I am not the biggest Trump fan. And I've said this over and over again. Right. And when he does bad things, like
Jimbo, if nothing else, this trial or whatever, it's going to be entertaining.
If nothing else, brother.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? That's our Donald Trump edition, I guess. So thank you very much for stopping by and checking us out. Thank you to our sponsors. For Joe Aguirre, I am Jimmy J. And for everybody here at the Divided We Stand staff, saying thank you, good night, and God bless.